Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Royal Tennis Court at Hampton Court Palace for the 2025 Champions Trophy, brought to you by Mitsubishi Electric. It's the Saturday of the event, so it must be semi-finals day. And we've got two fantastic semi-finals coming up for you this afternoon. Giles Doy and Peter Wright in our commentary box booth. Position. Position's a great word. Let's go with position. This afternoon. We've got our two players warming up at the moment. John Lumley and Ben Taylor-Matthews. Followed a little bit later, probably not before 2:15, by Nick Howell and Bryn Sayers. And it's all very simple from now on. It's go big or go home. There's a spot in the final for the winner of both of these matches. There's no repechage, there's no qualifying, there's no group stage. It's a pretty simple reality from this point. Peter, it's amazing to have you back at a real tennis court. Amazing to have you back joining us in the commentary booth here. We've got some fantastic matches coming up this afternoon.
It is good to be back, and I think there will be some great matches to watch. It almost feels like I've not been away. Everything looks the same, feels the same. It's the joy of playing real tennis, the history that is what it is. Some slightly contrasting styles of play on court. Certainly some contrasting apparel with the either very long sock or one trouser.
It's something that it's. So we're talking about John Lumley here, who's just popped down the hazard end. Yeah, I think it's a fairly kind of common part of his apparel. I guess it's almost kind of like compression wear, something like that. Yep. I'm not 100% sure. John comes into this as the top seed. Possibly looking at this tournament as making some final preparations for his World Championship challenge in a couple of months' time against Camden Riviere. Or maybe he's got it all sussed out already, who knows. And he's just using this to get his eye into some competitive tennis. John has won this title before, a couple of years ago. And it's actually only a French Open away from completing the Grand Slam. Although I think he'll be missing that this year because he'll be competing for the World Championship singles. He perhaps maybe in a little bit of an upset to form, lost in 5 quite exceptional sets to Ben Taylor-Matthews the last time out at the US Break. But otherwise has looked pretty much imperious all season long.
Do you think that'll just make him more determined to win this time around?
I think if he's going to be serious about taking Camden Riviere to 13 sets in September, he needs to be looking at these kind of tournaments and thinking, I need to be taking these titles. Meanwhile, Ben Taylor-Matthews is. I think we'd seen he's made the semi-final of every Champions Trophy since its inception 7 or 8 years ago, and had made the final on 4 out of those 7 occasions. He got past John Lumley in the semi-final, but then couldn't go all the way against Rob Fay in Newport.
Tells a slightly different picture. Does it not?
It does show a very different picture. I think particularly we've seen a real resurgence in John Lumley over the last kind of few years or so. But if you consider kind of the overall head-to-head, I think even if you went back 3 or 4 years or so, you would have comfortably have picked Ben to win this battle, based on the respective forms that they were both in. But as we've seen, 4 of the last 5 meetings have all gone John's direction.
He does also look like he's a man that spends a good amount of off-court time in the gym. So John, yeah. So looks in good shape.
He's looking very much in good shape. I know plenty of social media activity for him, showing off his preparations and yeah, sometimes a bit of his gym routine as well. Ben less so, I find, but
I think Ben might be a dark horse when it comes to that kind of thing, but time will tell.
Indeed.
But I mention it because Hampton Court in the summer is very, very warm, and therefore fitness can have something of an impact the longer the match goes.
Yeah, it's clammy is the word I'd use to describe it today. We're quite high up in our commentary booth here, so we do attract quite a bit. You know, the heat will naturally kind of rise up a little bit, but it's pretty warm out there. I guess fitness potentially slightly less of an issue when there's only best of 3 sets, but still we're going to expect a very physical battle between these 2 players.
And sometimes people play slightly differently if it's 3 versus 5 sets, because they know they've got either less or more time to be on court. So you're right, it can be a more physical battle if it's 3, just because if it's over, then you've kind of wasted your fitness if you've not used it.
Yeah, and I guess particularly with that best of 3 sets, you need to get out of the starting blocks pretty quickly to start making an impact.
On the serving end, number 3 seed from Bristol Real Tennis Club, Ben Taylor Matthews. On the hazard end, from the Racket Club of Philadelphia, number 1 seed John Lumley. The format is best of 3 6-game sets. Ben to serve first. Level. It's not normally there.
Jack Josephs.
It will be in if it's under the green.
Jack Josephs will be calling the shots for this match.
Okay.
Recently acquired real tennis professional at Hampton Court.
Oh! Got up. So he's worse than the yard. Straight. 15 up. $15 all. Got up. Chasing yard. 2 chases.
Now, long rallies were quite a big feature of Ben's match yesterday against Rob Schenkman. I think we're starting to see, even just from a couple of rests here, Ben's quite happy to just let let the ball play through, play some rallies, just kind of get himself acquainted to how this court is playing this afternoon.
15 all,
I think
chase
that's
worse
I
than
think
a
the
yard.
rallies are either be very short or really quite long, and not much in between.
Lost the chase for worse than 2. 30-15, chase a yard.
He's found his spot on that high serve pretty quickly in this game.
40-15.
He's not messing around, is he? It's 7:30 practice this morning. It's obviously worked well.
Hazard worse than 2. 40-15, one chase.
I think it'll be interesting
Score
to
is
see how the
40-15.
guys serve
Receiver
and
leads.
return and what impact that has.
Hazard worse than
Just
2.
appears that
Hazard.
maybe the first few points John's return looks a little sharper, but we've not seen many, so that's tough to say.
Oh! $30-40. Juice.
Ben's now joining the party with the high serves as well.
Last gallery. Juice.
Very nicely played.
Looks as if Ben's going to try and
chase.
hit more balls
Last
to John's
gallery.
forehand when John's at the receiving end. And then the other thing, I know it's only game one, although they're both hitting high serves slightly differently.
Yeah, I think they're definitely finding a different contact point on the side penthouse, and I think John's
Shorter. Ben's getting a bit of back penthouse and pushing John wider.
Yeah.
Advantage receiver. Chase the last gallery. First game to the receiver. 1-0. Love. Last gallery, 15 love. 15 all. Chase more than a yard worse than last. Gallery. 2 chases.
So do let us know where you're joining us from this afternoon in the chat. We are up and running there. Sammy Legg, prolific in the live chat over the last couple of days. Good to see you joining us. Sammy, I think you declared earlier in the week a very clear preference for John to go all the way through your picks in the Real Tennis Fantasy League, so I think you're going to be heavily invested in how this match unfolds this afternoon.
Well up. 30-15. Receiver leads more than a yard worse than last, Gallery. Service point, 30 all.
Wow.
Last Gallery.
Unorthodox but effective.
30 all.
I don't know if you saw, I think it was Darren versus Vaughan in one of the qualifying matches earlier in the week.
Unfortunately, I was, I think, working at that time.
Chase worse than a yard. 2 chases.
It's definitely worth watching the replay if you get the chance. I'd focus particularly on the last 2 minutes. 8 games all. Darren has match point against Vaughan. He absolutely, Chase is second gallery. He absolutely shanks a shot into Mainmore Mainmore dead on penthouse, flies up into the air, lands in last gallery on the full.
30 all. Chase the
Then
last gallery.
had to go to the net and shake hands to say well done for your game.
It never says in the
40,
scorebook
30.
how you won.
Chase worse than a
No,
yard.
that you did
No,
win.
no, and the records will just say Darren wins 9-8.
Chase and a game. That's 1 game all. Oh! Chase worse than 5. Level. Well up. 15 love. Chase better than 5. 2 chases. 15 love.
I was just thinking how measured the tennis was for that last backhand crunch into the back wall. It does seem as if they're almost just sort of feeling each other out and getting themselves into the game.
Yeah, I mean, Ben's reached the semi-final through the kind of repechage, second quarter-final match yesterday against Rob Shankman. So he's had quite a bit more court time than John. He came through 2 sets against Leon on Thursday night.
Oh!
before Leon retired after aggravating shoulder injury again. Guess that's
Chase
a bit
better
hard
than
to tell
five.
if that's a blessing or a curse. You spent more time on court, less time on court.
I'd say over 3 or 4 days, more time on court's a good thing. Over 2 or 3 weeks, maybe not such a good thing. Just thinking if you equated it to other sports.
Sure, sure.
Oh! $30-15. $30 all.
Much tighter railroad on that one than the previous point. Ben uttering a few words to himself, clearly not happy with how some of his serves are going in at the moment.
Oh! Juice. Advantage receiver.
John's quite
Receiver
happy
leads
to be
2 games to 1. First set.
I know it's only 3 games, but it seems to me Ben's possibly been playing better tennis.
Yeah, Ben's, even though it's quite early, maybe just looking a bit flustered.
Oh!
And possibly serving is kind of mixing up quite a little bit. Second serve railroad. Great rest. Great tennis from both players.
15 up.
I think Ben's not. I don't think Ben's putting stacks of aggression into every shot there.
Yeah, I think he looks quite measured.
Last gallery. 15 up.
I mean, if nothing else, Ben's definitely getting plenty of backhand practice down here.
I'm sure he'd rather less backhand practice and more points.
He's been saying that this would be his last, basically after this tournament, he's going to hang up his racket and not play it again until he is firmly in his new role at Westwood Country Club in Washington.
30.
Definitely hit a lot of those backhands down the line.
One chase.
Yeah, I think he seems very keen to be using winning gallery. I mean, obviously it's a target. It's a very good way of winning points quickly. It looks like it's something he's really kind of targeting, and focusing his rallies on.
I think it opens up the court a lot, and it forces your opponent to go more towards the middle. Therefore, when you hit underneath the grill, it's a better shot.
Sure.
So it's one of those things, it might not work immediately, but you're almost setting the foundations for other shots and other points, and also
just creating that uncertainty a little bit in your opponent.
I think taking a little bit of the energy out of his legs, hopefully, so he doesn't cover the court quite so well.
Yeah, and John's, you know, if you're looking at a fitness battle against John, you're probably not going to win.
You're right, you want him to be doing a lot more work than you are.
Game to the server. It's 3-1. Chase better than last gallery. Level. Up. Love.
Is that his first dead one? It is. Thanks, Ben.
Love, one chase. Better than last gallery.
I'm not sure whether both players are deliberately hitting different serves to keep their opponent guessing, or just not quite finding the serve they're happy with. There seems to be lots of variation.
Yeah, I think that's been a bit of a pattern actually for, I guess, both players, and actually all the matches this week. I think you could look back at previous tournaments here, and almost everybody would quite regularly be just going straight for the railroad, and the railroad plays well here. It's a
love, the serve leads. Better than last gallery.
The back of the back ball has been playing a lot of fun and games for people using the railroads.
Server. That's 2 games to 3.
Hopefully we'll see a couple of points in where we actually
shows I haven't been here for a while.
We'll wait. We'll wait. It was
the last few years I was here, the railroad seemed less and less effective.
Oh.
Okay. It's so that the back ball I think was repainted a couple of months ago.
Okay, that would help.
15 love.
And it's definitely been throwing up. It's been adding a lot of spice to some very good railroad serves.
Second gallery. 15 love.
Certainly the last few years I was here, it was much more Chicken Calmer than Jal Fraser.
Gallery, 2 chases.
The reason I mentioned the serving point was
Server
Ben
leads
seemed to be
second
getting
gallery and the last
quite
gallery.
a bit of help, winning a fair few points with that high serve, but only did it 2 or 3 times and then stopped.
Yes. Yeah, I know. I don't think Ben on the stats and the videos. I don't think he's got enough fingers or arms because I know in the past we've been able to look at kind of how different serves have been kind of playing. It's definitely a real mix of these two, a real mix from both these players at the moment.
15 all, last gallery. $30-15. $40-30.
Got a couple of enthusiastic visitors in the galleries today. I think it's rankled Ben a little bit. I think it would definitely rankle me as well. We've got perspex barriers here to stop.
I can't believe anything would ruffle you on court, Charles.
Sorry?
I said I can't believe anything would ruffle you on court.
Oh, at the 100%.
3 games all.
Although I struggle to count how many times I've been playing. I've played here. I've had tourists and visitors taking photos of me shanking an absolutely horrible return a serve, and them looking at it thinking, like, man, this guy knows what he's talking about. Ben's not quite there. He judged the angle. He obviously saw John coming up. It's going to be a very, very tight angle on the timber, but Ben probably just a couple of feet short from making contact on that.
Oh.
You're clearly a more generous man than me, Charles. I thought he'd just given the point up and actually stood near where the ball bounced.
Oh.
Ooh.
It's 40-15. Receiver leads.
He had a
Chase
little bit more
half a
time
yard.
than he thought.
I mean, I mean, clearly on that one he had more time and knew where it was going. I don't know if it something came off the tambour a little bit differently, or some different bounces on that. I mean, if I keep talking about how crazy the back wall is here, I'm gonna sound like a broken record. But maybe something a bit strange happening with that. So John's got a chance to grab the 7th game here. He hasn't got an awful lot of space to attack for it. I was about to say he's been forcing pretty well for the dead on, but
not on the 3rd bounce.
If Ben's playing serves like that. Very swift apology from Ben with that serve.
That was definitely one of the better railroads. Maybe that was the crazy back wall that you were describing, Giles. Kept nice and tight.
Advantage server. Hold. Second gallery. Advantage 1 chase.
Maybe a chance just to pull his thoughts together, John, having not taken those 2 game points.
Yeah, he was 40-15 up when we were changing ends. But Ben has pegged it all the way back to taking advantage.
From memory, I can't think of many, if any, second galleries that he's hit. Maybe that was just a
advantage receiver.
Drink and a towel down and calm down.
Second gallery.
No, it's. I think if folks are aiming for galleries, they're mainly going for last galleries at the moment.
Juice. Advantage server.
Oh, he's got to it this time.
It's tough.
Game to server. 4 games to 3. Love. $15 all. Second gallery, 15 all.
This is obviously the point now where you reflected that not many second galleries are going to be hit, and now 20 are going to get hit in the rest of the match.
$30-15.
Difficult to know whether he deliberately went for that. I was trying to hit last and slightly missed his
Kept
target.
it slightly slid back a bit.
40-15, one chase.
But also at this level, and the way these guys are returning, I'm not sure how effective that second gallery chase is.
No, I think particularly with, I mean, even
Score
just
is 40-15. The server leads.
even with
Chase's
something,
second gallery.
yeah, even here where you've got quite a wide dead on, you know, the fact that second gallery chase, you're just using it really as a means to change ends or to get the serve. You're not really using that to exert any pressure on your opponent, getting them to change their style of play.
Just deconstructed my whole game there, Giles. Must be why I stopped playing. I just needed to drink more often than most.
40-15.
Or eat bananas. There's a very strong theme
Second
here
gallery.
of banana consumption during matches.
On the chase. 30-40. Chase half a yard. 30-40, one chase.
Talking of putting some pressure on your opponent with crunching return of serve to get half a yard.
Yeah, I think that's also a valuable lesson to people that play at any standard. He used the word crunching, but I don't think he hit it particularly hard.
No,
He just placed it.
placed it with some real line and length.
Yes.
You know, to use a cricket analogy.
So it's not all about who can hit
Receiver
it the
leads.
hardest. It's
Chase
about
half a yard.
Placing it exactly where
putting
you
it where
want
you
it to
want
go. Half a yard.
Juice. Advantage server.
The dangers of leaving the ball to the back wall. The spicy back wall.
A very spicy back ball.
Chase a yard. Advantage, one chase.
If there is anyone from Nando's KFC that wants to sponsor our back wall, I think all offers will be considered.
I'm not sure that the committee will necessarily stand for a giant logo
Advantage receiver.
within Hampton Court's grounds. Time will
Chase a
tell.
yard. Oh.
Trying the same serve again.
What's the chase? Juice. Oh. Second gallery. Juice. Oh.
Wise words, Charlie. I would imagine anything that had chicken involved would have got Henry VIII's seal of approval.
Yeah, thanks for your comments in the chat, Charlie. With Henry VIII being a KFC fan,
Advantage.
I never got to
One
meet Henry
chase.
VIII, but what I
Second
heard of
gallery.
him is that he wasn't especially picky about his food.
It's a fair point. Probably any
Literally,
chicken-based
any
snacks would have been
chicken
fine.
base, yeah, would have been good.
And combining snacks with tennis
Advantage
probably have
server.
gone down well with him as well.
Chase the second gallery.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you could definitely fill the galleries with the little snacks.
Game.
The
Server leads 5 games to 3.
I'm sure he'd have servants to bring them on to them
I'm
rather than having to walk.
I'm just thinking the trough in the dead on where the balls all fall in. You could definitely put a family bucket in there.
15 love.
Maybe that's how the whole thing started. Henry's picnic basket.
15 all.
With only 4 balls on court, he'd have had a lot more time for the snacks in that basket, so it would have worked out well the ways round. Ben just took out a little of his frustration from the last couple of games with that return.
Yeah, a couple of rare racket errors from John, responding to Ben's return of serves.
Second gallery. 30-15.
I think that gallery was the shot of a man who had enough chasing around at the back of the court.
Chase the line. 2 chases. Score is 30-15. The server leads second gallery and the line.
So it still feels, even though John's only 3 points away from taking the set, it still kind of feels like it's very much kind of in the balance. We're kind of still very much seeing
30,
bits of
15,
play where John will
70.
take 3 or 4 points, Ben will take 3 or 4 points back again.
Second gallery.
I would agree. I think if you didn't know what the score was and you just watched the points being played, you'd be hard pushed to say who was necessarily winning.
Oh! 30-15. 2 chases. Service point. 40-15. Chase the line. On the chase. 13-40. Oh! Game.
Another racket error from John.
4 games to 5.
I think something else to bear in mind for people playing around this country. You don't have to hit the ball really hard to win the point.
No.
It's amazing how many times the ball, when struck slowly but with lots of spin, becomes really tough to read off the floor. And even somebody like John makes a racket error.
Love.
That's a lovely put away.
It's taken, I think, 10 games. It's
15 all.
Ben's first grill. It's a bit strange because that's clearly a part of the, well, a part of the court that we would normally expect to see a lot of action in. Either both players are getting themselves well below the grill.
30-15.
I think they're trying to keep the ball on the floor as much as possible, unless there's a very obvious opportunity to hit out.
There's a slight puff of plaster work from John in that return to serve as well. Does get a set point.
Game and the first set.
Takes the first set, the
6 games
first
to 4.
opportunity.
Shiva leads 1 set to love. Second set.
I'm not sure that Ben will necessarily be that unhappy, even though he's lost the set.
No, he knows. He knows he can take John to 5 sets, as he has done recently at Newport. Ben also took Nicky Howe to 3 sets in the final here last year.
Chase better than a yard. Double.
The first couple of games do suddenly, I think, become a lot more important for Ben here, because he doesn't want to let John
No, he doesn't
get
want.
on a
He
bit of a roll.
doesn't want him to take a lead in this set that he can't find his way back from.
Default. Love. I'm
afraid that's probably all that serve deserved.
Oh. Love, 1 chase, better than a yard.
Also starting to see both players starting to, well, clearly the sweat levels and the heat is starting to build up a little bit in here. I think both players have needed the towel a couple of times just to wipe a few bits off the floor.
It's always noticeable when you come to Hampton. Just walking onto the court.
It's
how hot it feels in the summer.
Easily it must surely be the hottest court in the world. I can't think of any other court. I mean, even even Falkland, when Falkland without a roof is not going to be anywhere near as hot here. Oh, Ben is in our ear. He's challenged us.
I've not played in Australia, but
Melbourne.
it's quite warm. Paris,
better than a
found
yard.
at certain times of the year was quite toasty as well.
I guess you get a lot of direct sun coming down, don't you?
Yep. You're surrounded by the heat of the city.
Yep.
Good pace.
15-40.
Happy to be proved wrong by anybody else who is listening. Your contenders for the hottest court in real tennis.
I got the feeling that John's just
Seventy,
relaxed
one
a
game to
little
love.
bit. He's hit a
Second set.
couple of winners in that game that just looked very languid and easy. Okay, Ben's not
15
going to
off.
be outdone.
No, but I think there's probably still going to be a bit of frustration from the way that that first set finished for him.
Jake's better than last gallery. 15 up.
I think it'll be interesting to start seeing whether these rallies are going to get longer or shorter.
Second gallery, 2 chases. 15 love. The serve leads better than last gallery and the second gallery.
Sammy is seconding Ben's claim. Melbourne's like a microwave. Yeah, I'm afraid my real tennis travels have never taken me to Australia. I
15 love. The serve
know it's
leads
definitely on the list
better
one
than
day,
last
but
gallery.
probably not anytime soon.
I like the way Giles has managed to mention a well-known chicken snack manufacturer and the potential for airlines to help him out with a trip down to Australia.
15 all. Chase the second gallery.
We've seen a lot from Ben trying to use the hazard galleries as a way of finishing points quickly. That one didn't quite work for him this time.
That was a little better though.
That one
30-15.
was a peach.
Yeah. 30 all.
I think Ben was trying to take some evading action there, but the ball still caught his racket. Super shot.
Read the court well.
Well, found himself out of position and then suddenly found himself magically back into position.
Chase better than second gallery. Juice. Second gallery, 2 chases.
Simon Talbot Williams, STW himself, has put forward Aiken as a contender. Again, not one on my list for any airlines that are listening.
And if ever a man could comment on courts from around the world, Simon Talbot Williams is one of them.
He is certainly the authority on courts around the world. Definitely saw him watching some of the action here yesterday. I thought I saw you around here today, Simon, but I think that might just be your doppelganger.
I don't think anyone else would be wearing a shirt like that. There are a few people that could have pulled that off sartorially.
Advantage receiver.
If only Simon was one of them.
Hazard second gallery.
Hazard second gallery.
One game all.
Tickled its way over on that. Fairly, as I say, fairly tepid applause for a rather jammy net call. One game all.
Up.
An excellent finish after some fabulous retrieving.
That's 15 all.
John asking plenty of questions around Ben's ability to read the timbre.
That might be why we've not seen too many grills. Most players just keeping the ball low, trying to force an error or an easier ball.
Second gallery. 30-15.
John returning to the high serves. Well, for 1 point.
Hazard better than half a yard. 2 chases.
Simon, you've made a reference to the Portobello special. That's not a reference on me. I don't know if that's something you know about, Peter.
And Hazard better than half a yard.
You might need to elaborate a bit more on that, Simon.
I'm figuring that he must be referring again to some sort of food-based comment.
I was going to say, if I see the word Portobello, I think either...
Or he's just tried to order some lunch and put his chat into the wrong chat app.
Yeah,
There's a very surprised sandwich bar around the corner that's getting an order
30
for
foot gigantic mushrooms.
Oh!
Yes, Simon, we are still talking about your shirt. You're very welcome to WhatsApp me some pictures, but actually equally don't feel the urge to do that.
If you could make them in black and white, that would be helpful. I'm concerned. That's a fabulous quality.
30 all. Hazard's better than half a yard. Get up. 40-30.
Start of the Matthews comeback.
He's putting together. He's put together 7. He's won 7 of the last 9 points. He's starting to put a few.
7 leads. 2
Put a few
games to
points
1.
together. He's taken the lead for the first time in this second set.
Chase better than second gallery. Double. Ball. Oh, there's no. Level. Stroke. 15 up.
Rather great focus from Ben, not worrying about the score. Well, he's contemplating his lunch order as well.
Well, only if his lunch order is going to be due at 3 o'clock, because the part of me feels like this there's at least another set and a half in this to go as yet.
Chase 4 and 5. 2 chases. 30 love. Better than second gallery and chase 4 and 5.
I'll have a quick look at some of the numbers from the first set, which I gotta say does feels like a while ago. We only we finished the first set. It was only 3 games ago.
Very few girls in winning galleries.
Yeah, plenty of dead on, but actually, I guess both players getting points through floor shots and mistakes from their opponents, not really aiming for targets when they are serving.
Does that also suggest that the receiver
30
is
love, the server
more
leads,
dominant because most of the winning shots are coming from that part of the court?
True, very true.
And maybe that serving's tricky as well.
It's a bit feisty in the first part of that, and then started to calm itself down.
It was a bit frantic, wasn't it?
A bit more of a routine.
Oh. Lost the chase, so better than last. And the game, 2 games all.
Jones gets us back to parity in the second set.
I think the next couple of games for Ben are very, very important.
Chase, worse than a yard.
It's a great change-up, because I don't think he's played that shot before.
Love. Whoa! Dirty love. Better than second gallery, 2 chases.
Peter, I think I actually owe you an apology. We've been here an hour and 10 minutes. I haven't asked you a single question about how your paddle is going.
Better than second
Since you hung up your rackets in this sport a little while ago, you're taking the paddle world by storm.
It's not been too bad the last 13 or 14 months. I hadn't even thought about that whilst I've been watching this match, but now you've mentioned it, Charles.
Now I've mentioned
now
it.
You've mentioned it. I've managed to play a few tournaments and
30 love.
Come good.
Sneak a few ranking points for over 40s and over 50s.
Go on, tell us. You're a numbers man. You must know what your ranking is.
Maybe I think I'm at the moment 4 or 5 in the GB over 50s and 9 or 10 in the over 40s.
Chase off.
Worse than the yard.
30 love. Better than second gallery.
Not the best leave the world has ever seen.
Better than second gallery.
That is the Darren Long shot.
Unconventional, yet effective. Yeah, I think Darren maybe plays that a little more often than John.
Chase the line. What do you love?
My last word on paddle, Giles. It does seem a much slower game when you move from real tennis to paddle.
Really?
Everything on a paddle court seems as if it's going in slow motion, which does make life a little easier.
Is that equipment? Is that equipment? Is it because it's doubles? What do you think?
I think it's the balls are designed to not travel particularly fast.
Okay.
40 love.
And the
Serve
nature of the
lead.
game means that
Chase the line.
you've got to make it bounce, so therefore you've got to pick and choose the times when you absolutely cream it. To a slightly less technical expression.
On the chase. 15-40.
Do you foresee people in kind of paddle circuit thinking about exploring other kind of racket sports and moving over to real tennis and things like that? We obviously know a lot of folks who go from real tennis into paddle. Do you see that happening the other direction?
I'd say no. I think it's like lots of these sports. Once they get hold of you, people tend to stick with that sport.
Okay.
I think also people are lacking time these days.
Sure.
With a variety of other commitments. So once you found one thing, probably best to stick with that because
15 love.
you just haven't physically got the time to play something else. Unless you're Tim Edwards.
Yeah, chase the door. 15 love.
Tim, the man with a racket or a camera in his hand, basically at any one time. He's our official photographer for the weekend. You'll see plenty of his bits and pieces on social media.
I was going to refer to his excellent work, Giles, but bits and pieces will do.
Chase, better than yard.
That's a phenomenal pickup by Ben
That's
towards the end of that round.
He didn't really. There's no good. He had no right for that ball to go back, come back over. Except he clearly just kept John out of position to, I guess, put one past him to set a pretty decent chase at this point in the game. No, I think you're right about particularly paddle, like grabbing people and kind of bringing them in. I think it was a little bit earlier in the year. Went to visit some friends in Bristol and went to play some paddle with them. Absolutely loved it. Had an absolute. I wasn't any good, but I had an absolute blast. And very much on the M4 coming back, looking up, is there any paddle courts near us or anything like that? And my wife very much turning to me, being like, "You do not need another money pit hobby. Put your phone down."
30 love. Chase better
And she's,
than
of
a
course,
yard.
absolutely spot on.
So I take it you looked on your phone when you'd left the car and she was in a different part of the house.
Well, better than a yard. lost the 15-30.
And I take it you remember at that paddle club under a different name,
No,
Giles.
no, I firmly kept my wallet in my pocket and.
Very wise.
Although we are in the process of moving house at the moment, and I did look at whether there are any paddle clubs there where we're moving to. The answer is no, which I guess actually kind of makes things a bit easier.
I take it that wasn't your first choice of new house then, and the one that was next door to the paddle club one was snapped up by somebody else.
Ben had some chances there in that, but
it's a massive miss as well.
4-2 is now opening up a bit of a gap for John to see a finish line here. That's a good response from John there.
It's a heck of a shot.
On fault. Second gallery. 40-31 chase.
Just as a quick reminder, after this we're going to have our second semi-finals, which will be Bryn Sayers versus Nikki Howell, which will start not before 2:15. And then later on today we've got some ladies exhibition matches. Nicola Doble and Jess Garside playing a singles match for us here, followed by a doubles match which will also include Darcy Blaber and Catherine Carney, who I think will be getting on planes in the next couple of days to head over to US for the World Juniors. So a fantastic opportunity for them to get a bit of practice before they head out to America.
advantage server.
That's not what you want to do after a very long rally. Not make your opponent hit the ball. It just compounds the previous mess.
Juice.
Caught the pace there.
Both players have just
Advantage
upped the
server.
intensity in the last couple of points, realising how important they are.
Okay. That's 5 games to 2, 70.
John's turned this around. He was 1-2 down. He's just put 4 games on the scoreboard. And I think you're right, Peter.
Chase better than 6.
It's starting to ramp up a little bit.
15 love.
John can see a finish line much more in sight now. Ben knows this is the time to go big.
I think also both players hitting it a little bit harder in certain rallies.
Love. I got 40 love, 1 chase. Better than 6.
I think that point probably sums up that intensity at the moment.
Yes. That was definitely not from the Julian Snow of fighting your way out of a set in 5-2, was it?
No, I'm going to say it wasn't.
Love, the receiver leads. Chase better than 6. The worse than 6. Chase. 15-40.
Felt worse than 6. Half a yard has kept Ben in this match.
And then a net cord.
And a net cord has kept him in the match as well.
40.
Could that be the start of something big? And is he now regretting that rash return of serve? No, 30 love.
That will do it.
Indeed it will. John wins the first semi-final, 6-4, 6-2. In a match that players could be both disappointed and yet somewhat pleased in terms of the way they played. Both gave themselves, certainly Ben gave himself a chance, but didn't take it. John maybe not playing his best tennis, but still winning 6-4, 6-2. So that's something you can take into a final. Some stats up on the screen now. I don't think this shows that things are reasonably similar, even though John's score or winning score looks as if he's won relatively comfortably. Until you get down obviously to the points won. But in terms of targets hit, not a massive difference, which suggests maybe club players that it's not all about how many targets you hit, it's how well you hit the ball, how close you hit the ball to your targets, how controlled you are. Certainly something that I'm sure Nick Wood, the head pro here, would be echoing. Just finishing on this one, in terms of where the guys are winning their points from, I think John won more points at the service end than Ben. Both players seem to struggle a little to find a serve, or you could argue returned well enough that they didn't let their opponent find a good serve. So something for them to think about, certainly for John to think about tomorrow. I wonder whether the guys playing the next match, Nicky and Bryn, will have been watching that, or whether they've already got game plans in their mind as to what it is they're going to do and not do. My thoughts would be it'll be the latter, because they've both been playing an awful long time and have fairly set games and therefore are likely to stick with what they know best. But we will be able to find out very shortly whether that is the case, or whether one of them is going to try and pull something out of their hat and do something to surprise his opponent. What's in that? Both players just kind of going through their final warm-up routines, stretching, bit of visualisation, thinking about what it is they're going to do and not do. Wouldn't be surprised if, as is the vogue with many sportsmen and women nowadays, they're listening to some of their favourite music. Whether that's to calm them down or pump them up will no doubt depend on the kind of person they are and their style of play and what it is that they're trying to do. Or just who it is that they like to listen to, and that'll have nothing to do with the tennis whatsoever. My vantage point, I can see the spectators slowly leaving, which is very wise at Hampton Court, bearing in mind the steepness of the stairs. No doubt off to grab a cup of tea and stretch their legs before the next match gets underway. Nick Wood just having a few words with John Lumley. Wondering if he's wondering where he too might be able to get some of that rather natty leg wear. And whether or not it would make Woody any swifter around a real tennis court or indeed a paddle court. I know that he plays a little bit of paddle as well. Or is he just offering John a little bit of advice ahead of the match tomorrow? I doubt that. I'm sure that John's got enough people in his camp advising him as to what to do and not do for tomorrow. And he gets to go and have a shower, put his feet up, grab himself some lunch, and then take things easy for the rest of the day. Either watching the second match or catching up on the test, or maybe a little stroll around Hampton Court and checking out a bit of history. I think we're ready to have a few words with John now.
Great, and also Tim wants pictures of you, not me. Thanks, Peter. So down on court here with our semi-final winner, John Lumley, who came through that match 6-4, 6-2 to make through to tomorrow's final. John, that was nip and tuck pretty much the whole way through, start to finish.
Yeah, definitely. Very tight. I had a couple points to go 2-love up in that second, and he got it back to 1-1, and then from there it felt close. It definitely didn't feel like a 6-2 that final set, so happy to get out of that one fairly quickly in the end. And
I think we saw, particularly in that first set, plenty of some quite long rallies, but also a lot of kind of backhand to backhand sort of cross-court action. Yeah. It looked like you're getting plenty of practice, but I don't know, was that kind of part of your plan, part of the idea?
Benny's so strong in that backhand, it's not necessarily a rally I try and get into, but you sort of end up getting into that rally. We were sort of sliding a few more down the forehand today than sort of, I guess, both of us have in the past. But yeah, it's still, if you can find that good length down near that T&RA, it doesn't really matter who's down there, it's going to be a tough shot. So trying to find the right angles, but not really necessarily achieving that.
And so last time out when you both played was Newport, only a few weeks ago. Yeah. That didn't go your way on this occasion. How did you take kind of feedback and learnings from that into this match?
I think I just tried to come into this match a little bit more sort of play free mentality, try and enjoy it a little bit more. I do love playing, so sort of trying to remember that I want to be out here, and I felt a lot better out here this match. So happy to sort of have that last one, I guess, in the past. So yeah.
Fantastic. And so just looking ahead to tomorrow quickly, this is will be your third final. Yeah. You obviously won it a couple of years ago. Do you think you can do it again this year?
I'm going to give it my best. Nikki and Bryn are two great players, so it'll be a tough match whoever I end up playing. But yeah, really looking forward to the challenge and getting back out here tomorrow.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Congratulations, John. And yeah, best of luck in the finals tomorrow.
Thank you.
Back up to you, Peter.
Thanks, man. Thank you, Shelley. Good job in this. This is awesome.